Hello, everybody. My name is Ryunn Eldred, and I'm here as always with Razgriz, the boss, and we'd like to welcome you to the R&R podcast. Today, we will be touching base on the Summer Game Fest that just concluded today, right?
Yes,
As of
today
Sunday, the 8th.
there is some other stuff happening tomorrow, but yeah, none of the other like major showcases.
So, for the most part, it's over, and we're here to talk about all the stuff that was announced over this weekend. Before we jump into that, Razgriz, how are you
hmm
feeling? How you doing?
Uh, I am alive. I am freaking busy and trying not to go broke.
I feel that on a very big level with the going broke part. Um, Busy for different reasons for me over here because my job is extending into the summer time, so I'm gonna be busy with work, so doing the same old, same old. I'm pretty good. I think I talked to you the other day about the issue I was having, the personal family issue.
Yes.
Yeah, just got that resolved today. Needless to say, my mother is also very pissed, but not in my direction. But we definitely got it resolved
Oh, good.
and have a new baseline of where everything is at. So family drama, always fun, always good. Outside of that, I got pulled into a game I want to take a brief second to talk about because I
Okay.
started playing it yesterday and I just completed my first entire playthrough of the story. I have to beat it six more times to get every ending, which I think I'm going to do because I am that invested. It's called Slay the Princess.
I'm familiar with Slay the Princess. I have not personally played it though.
It is so good. It's like there's nothing special gameplay mechanical wise. It's your run of the mill visual novel, but there was just something about it, like the mystery that surrounds it was so good that it kept me captivated.
Okay.
And I literally spent maybe a good 6 to 7 hours worth of recording, like my entire first run through.
Okay.
Had a lot of fun. But just as you were telling me about the game that you wanted me to try out, the Killer Frequencies, which I'm going to get in my next check, I highly recommend you should try out um Slay the Princess.
Okay. I
I
will I
I
will look
feel like
into
it
it.
it has your, I don't want to say deadpan, but you know how you have kind of like a serious humor.
Yes.
It has like a serious humor tone that just, there was points in the game where it's just so deadpan serious that I was dying of laughter. And then there's like the really oddball, just thrown out there humor in it too. It's so beautiful.
I hate to break it to you, sir, but I've already seen most of the game.
Oh, have you?
hmm
Oh, well, you could have led with that.
Well, simply Markiplier played it.
Oh. Well, I'm going through the game for my first time both seeing it and playing it, so I'm just really giddy about it because it's a fun experience. It's been a very, very fun experience. Anything you want to add in with Killer Frequencies or just no? You ready to get into the bulk of it all?
Well, so Killer Frequencies, I picked it up on sale, and it was a game that I remember seeing it come out, and I remember seeing first person horror, and I'm like, I don't like horror games. And so I was trolling on PlayStation when I saw it pop up, and it was like $7. I'm like, you know what? For $7, I'll give this one a shot. I think I lost. Oh, there you go. I'm like, for $7, I think I'll give it a shot. And uh I fell in love with it, man. I beat it pretty quickly, and I'm super proud of myself. because it is a puzzle game, and I actually managed to figure everything out by myself. Like I didn't use any like cheat. I didn't cheat. I didn't look up a guide or anything, and I made it to the end. And I'm pissed because the one mistake that I made on making like a perfect run where everybody gets to survive the killer, I panicked, made a decision, and then it was like the next second I saw that if this person drove, like most likely to get into an accident, and I was like, oh, fudge. And then, of course, when you get to the end of the game, there's a board and it has everybody's picture on it. And there was only one person with an X on it, and it was the person that I chose to drive the car. I was like,
Oh,
man, but it's fine because I got most of the trophies with that playthrough, and then I had to do a run where everybody survived, and I did it in the entire game under 4 hours, and I did it without any issue.
good job.
And then you have to do a run where nobody survives the killer.
I feel
And
like that'd be fun though.
that one, man, that was tough because
So,
inherently I want the people to survive. But I do appreciate that because you are a radio tacos, because 911 is now being directed into the radio program that's not super spoilerish. Um, when somebody dies live on air, mind you, you have the ability to crack a joke every single time, and I was dying laughing at these jokes.
how is it when the killer comes after you? Because I believe you said you're one of the people the killer could kill, right?
Yes, because nobody survives the killer. Uh,
Is it like, because I again haven't seen too much into the game because when I play
well,
through it, I
so
want it to be a surprise for me.
my initial playthrough, I had no idea what was going to happen, so I'm like crouching, like, oh man, dude, walking around this radio station. I'm terrified. My second playthrough, I know where to avoid at that point, and I know how to get back to my room.
So is the killer just always in the studio with you?
No,
Just at certain intervals of the game?
I can't specify that,
Oh,
sir.
oh, okay. Okay. I don't want to talk any further into it because then I'm gonna want you to spoil it for me. So let's talk.
Now that being said, real quick, I have officially platinumed that game, so that makes it my fourth game that I have plat. Uh, Astrobot, Spider-Man 2, Killer Frequency, and then there's a fourth game that I have platinumed, and I have no idea, but it says I have 4 platinum trophies.
Well, perfect segue from you talking about games you've platinum. Astrobot's getting some new levels. That
I
was
know, and I'm pissed
that was announced today, or that was announced during the PlayStation Showcase. Why are you pissed? I thought you
because
loved that game.
I do. I had 100% of the game, man, and I was like, all right, I don't think they're making anything else. I don't need to go through the pressure of trying to go through a time trial again. No, now they're dropping 5 more.
Oh, dude, they're gonna continuously keep dropping
Oh,
more and more
I
maps.
know,
It's gonna
dude.
be like Little Big
It's
Planet.
it's supposed to be a kid's game, man. That shit is hard.
Bro, do you remember Crash OG Crash Bandicoot? I tried replaying through the original Crash Bandicoot. You know how flippin' hard that stuff was?
Oh yeah.
Kids games are hard, man. They don't take it easy on us. But PlayStation Showcase was I believe Friday, right? Friday or Saturday. Whenever.
It was Friday because it was during the middle of graduation.
That is true. It's coming back to me now. Not everything we're going to talk about right now will be directly from PlayStation or directly from the Xbox. We'll sprinkle in a little bit of stuff that we don't really know where it fits because it's, both or both
No, wait.
console companies. State of Play?
State of Play was not during graduation. State of Play was before that.
Either
Right?
which way, outside of Astrobot, and I guess I'll start on this. They talked about Silent Hill F,
Hmm.
which before they showed the trailer, which was phenomenal and extremely like nerve-wracking and scary. I thought this game got canceled,
No, no, I knew it wasn't canceled. They had announced it and Silent Hill 2 remake. And then as far as I knew, it wasn't canceled, it was just taking longer to develop.
which I haven't had a chance to play the Silent 2 remake yet, but I watched
I
Jack
own it.
play it and
Well,
it
actually, I'm not
looks
sure how I own it, but I
phenomenal.
own it. I've never played the original.
I own the original on Xbox 360 through the Silent Hill collection or the Kojima collection. I forget what it's called. The HD collection. But
You mean
I've played
Konami
the
collection?
original. Yeah, it's just called Silent Hill HD collection on 360.
Oh, okay. We call it Konami collection, so or you called it Kojima.
Well, yeah, Kojima did the original Silent Hills.
And never mind. We'll
I
discuss
believe
that later.
so. Yeah, he did.
Anyway,
I
anyway,
think. Either which way, Silent Hill F looks absolutely terrifying. There is numerous because I looked it up on the PS5 and on the Xbox because it's coming to both consoles, which I wish the Silent Hill 2 remake was going to be coming to both consoles, but Silent Hill F has a bunch of warnings for the game. It's reportedly going to be like extremely scary, gory, and just like horrific, and that makes me extremely excited for the game and for a revival of the franchise because Silent Hill 2's remake was meant to be a revival as well, but it was a continuation slash remake of the game because the way they did it was the original game is still canon and it has actually happened in the lore of the remake.
hmm.
You're just in a completely different time loop now. So, Silent Hill F being its own game is really exciting. Kind of like Short Message was, which, as long
I
as
never
they
played
keep on
Short
the theme,
Message.
Short Message has a very beautiful story about suicide and like bullying and everything. So I'm really hoping for another very emotionally grounded, horrific game with Silent Hill F. Your turn, buddy.
So specifically, just sorry, I'm trying to write birthday cards.
Ah,
So the
you're good.
first one was from the cats, which you know how hard it is to write a birthday card from the cats. Katie has
Meow
no idea that
meow.
there's multiple. She
Meow meow. Meow.
Yes,
Meowth. Meow meow.
that's actually what I wrote too.
And then what you gotta do is you gotta get an ink pad and pad down their paw.
I'm not gonna catch the cats in time for that.
Ah, damn.
Plus,
Good idea though. Good idea.
if I do that, I'm very much gonna have ink paw prints all over the apartment.
And that's when you're like, I don't know what happened. And then it's a more believable story because when, the card's there and there's the little paw print, then they're like, oh, wow, the cat wrote this with
Oh,
David's handwriting.
for context, the wife's birthday is in a few days, not tomorrow.
I was going to say that is absolutely adorable that you wrote a birthday card to her from the cats.
Yeah, we're gonna be celebrating elsewhere. We're not gonna be home for that. All right, so you're wanting me to specifically talk about just the PlayStation Showcase?
Yeah, if you want to throw another one that's from PlayStation. If you can't think of one, you could name anything.
Death Stranding 2.
That works.
We saw a bit more about Neil and another one of the
Tomorrow.
no Neil, and there was another character. It wasn't tomorrow at the PlayStation State of Play.
Oh, at the PlayStation State of Play?
Yeah. Today they did a further in depth where they actually showed more about tomorrow and they showed some gameplay. I don't know if you watched the entire thing.
I watched most of it, so I saw the trailer stuff with Tomorrow and Kasumi. Con
Rain, Rainy.
Rainy, yeah.
The character's name is Rainy.
Yeah. I saw that bit with them dubbed in English this time, and then I saw
It's not dubbed
the
in English. It just is in English.
that's what I meant to say. Listen, it's 12:30 at night, all right? But I saw that, and then I saw the gameplay from like the opening of the game,
Yeah,
and then
first five
like
minutes, dude. Beautiful.
and then I saw the gameplay with Neil,
Yes.
which the first 5 minutes, as you said, chef's kiss. The dynamic music that like changes based off of like your
Right.
choices,
Yeah.
like I gotta give it to Kojima for always innovating some, like, doesn't seem like it would be such a huge game mechanic, but thinking through playing through the first game right now on how like it's amazing when you're about to make a long trekking journey how the music would kick in and play,
Right.
but having that kind of be around more but also reflecting on how you are playing is just genius level of work
Well,
and
so
storytelling.
on top of talking about, a Kojima phenomenal idea, but we also need to give credit to Woodkid
Yeah, Woodkid as
because
well
not only like the idea is crazy, being able to pull it off though.
is phenomenal.
Um, so you probably didn't catch it, but Woodkid had announced during the showcase that their
His album,
the
or
album's going to be releasing in a few days. So I have it pre-saved on Spotify,
I need to
where it
go do
has
that.
some of the music from it, including the song "To the Wilder" being sung by him and Eli Fanning. And then I actually got the record. So the records don't ship out until August, but it's a limited press two record thing.
Nice.
Me while I'm talking about this, let me see if I can pull it up. Uh, so I thoroughly love Death Stranding. Like I fell in love with the story and I love everything about it. I will say I am not getting the collector's edition.
Yeah, as much as even I agree that I love it, and I have like one of the books on the way from Amazon because I just found out there's novels to Death Stranding as well.
Yeah.
But I I love the statue that's in the collector's edition. You don't get the game with the statue, so that makes me less inclined to want to get it.
You don't get a physical one. No, you get a digital one.
You do get a steel book, which is pretty cool, but I got enough issues on my plate money wise that I don't need to throw on pre-ordering that game to
Yeah.
make more.
Do you see the
Yeah, I see the vinyls right now, which also looks super sick. I like the covers for it.
I will say this is not what the records looked like earlier.
Huh.
Like they were clear.
Huh.
Weird. Anyway,
Anyhoot. You got any more to say on Death Stranding 2?
just on Death Stranding 2, I'm really excited. It does come out in it would be according to my PlayStation about a little over 14 days from right now.
Damn, 2 weeks.
It comes out on the 26th, which unfortunately, even though I have the digital deluxe edition, which gives me access for 48 hours before, I will not be home for that entire week. I don't get home until the 26th. So I don't
Well,
even get to
I
enjoy the digital deluxe unless I bring my PlayStation Wish with me to the destination that I am going to. I am not saying it because I don't want people to show up.
yeah, well, I wasn't doing that look as in you saying where you're going. It was more of a look on like if you're gonna bring it or not.
Yeah.
Um, God, everything looks really good, and I can't wait to see the development of Sam's character. Because from like the trailers that we got, he's more, at least with the one with Tomorrow and Rain, he's more integrated with the community and a family as it was stated to date in today's showcase. Like he feels like he finally has a home and people.
Right, right.
So he's like interacting with people more. And I guess I can't remember the name of
Magellan, if you're thinking
the
about the ship.
Magellan. Yes. I guess in the Magellan, you could interact with them whenever you want. So that I'm just really intrigued on the connecting part. Because again, I think the tagline is should we have connected?
Yes. So I will say, looking at like the whole topic of it. So it's the game released, or the original game released in 2019. And Kojima, I'm not going to reiterate everything that he had said. If you guys want to hear his exact words, I strongly encourage you to watch
The
the
showcase.
showcase, um, which is just like a Death Stranding 2 deep dive. But basically, it was the game release, and then just a few months later, we are now physically disconnected, and we are having to go through these connections digitally. But as Kojima pointed out, uh, we are now way too connected. Like digitally, we are over connected. So then becomes a question of should we have even connected?
I also just love the parallel from what he talked about today with like during the pandemic of him getting sick and everything, and it's going to be reflected kind of in this story.
Yes,
Because Death Stranding is very much a commentary on real life in a way.
it really is. Yes.
So I'm really excited to see the sequel. And it is my personal goal that within these 2 weeks I'm gonna finish out the director's cut. I think I'm near the end. I've been getting massive chunks of the game done, like over the last few weeks, whenever I could actually fit it in, whenever I don't get home from work and just immediately pass out. I've been hopping on it and playing it.
Hmm.
Speaking of, just a quick sidebar, real quick. I just found out Days Gone just got a DLC.
A DLC?
Days Gone just got a DLC called Broken Roads.
I do vaguely remember hearing about this. Yes.
I just found out about this. You know how excited that makes me feel? Like, if literally this remastered version of Days Gone is gonna bring people back to the game and bring the studio back to the game, or bring PlayStation for that matter, since they were the ones that rejected a sequel, I'll be so happy.
Yes and no. Like, yeah, it's a beautiful game, and it does definitely deserve a sequel. But based off of the game director, I think it was the game director's actions.
Yeah, but he
Uh,
has since been fired from Ben's studio.
right. I don't know.
Don't condemn a studio over one person's, you know.
Well, I didn't know he got fired. I thought he was still with the studio.
Oh, yeah, no, he got fired. They let him go.
Rightfully so.
Rightfully so.
So, uh, yeah, I did not know that it got a DLC. Good for them.
Very good for them. Um, Continuing, I guess, on the tagline of Kojima Productions, a kind of Kojima-esque game was also showcased at the PlayStation Showcase with Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eaters um remake, because it's not a remaster, it's a remake. They showcased a little bit more on it, including what looks to be a multiplayer game mode,
Yes.
which is very exciting because I don't believe the original game had multiplayer, but the Metal Gear Solid 3 Substance did, which was like Ground Zeroes and Peace Walkers multiplayer, if I'm remembering right. So I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued and excited. Hopefully, I'll have people to play with, or I'll just play with randos. But a multiplayer
The
Gears
the
or
people
not
I
Gears,
would
but
play
Metal
with
Gear.
really suck at multiplayer games and like timing up their schedules, and then it just doesn't work out too well. So I tend to stick with my single player games.
That's fair. But
Uh, I mean, we do so. Sticking on the PlayStation 1, which was a Wednesday, by the way, because
oh wow,
it was Wednesday, June 4th. Uh
that feels like forever ago.
yeah. There was another game that was announced that absolutely caught my eye, and I'm like, I want to know more about, and it's the Sea of Remnants.
I didn't see anything on it, so tell me about it.
So all we know is it kind of looks like a wooden mannequin kind of art style. I'm just gonna pull it up and we might get copyrighted. But it's like an ocean adventure according to the Microsoft AI. It's an ocean adventure RPG where players take on the role of a puppet folk sailor who has lost their memory. The game features dynamic seas, strange monsters, an evolving pirate city, and 300 plus companions.
Huh.
So, I strongly recommend if you haven't already to take a look. Though I think that they must have did like a more of a deep dive at a different show because I only remember seeing the trailer and I was hooked from the trailer. Because
I
I definitely got
will.
like a piratey theme. Uh and just from like the initial vibe, I'm like, you know what? This kind of looks cool with it showcased one of the bosses or one of the monsters or it showed of a giant like crab, and it was using the ships that it had crushed before as like weapons to smash down into the water.
Hmm. I'm trying to look it up on the PlayStation website, but it just kind of stops there. I mean, it's done right. Sea of Remnants, right?
Sea of Remnants.
Okay. Huh. I like the art style for it, or at least for what I'm seeing right now, it has an intriguing art style. Please don't be loud. Please don't be loud. Please don't be loud. There we go. Yeah, I do like the art style for this. Speaking of Sea games, Sea of Thieves is getting another season, which is very
I saw
intriguing.
that. Now,
I
for those of
love
you listening, I would love to play Sea of Thieves, but unfortunately, I can't get enough people together to play the game.
so Chris and his cousin Gabe have just started getting into the game. So if we can fit
See,
in a time, we can make
see,
me, you, Chris, and Gabe.
I try to play games with people, but it doesn't work out. And then they end up like far ahead of me, and then I end up getting like bits and pieces of the story, and I get left behind. And then when I get left behind, I decide I don't want to play that game anymore. That has happened to me on Monster Hunter World. That has happened to me on Elder Scrolls Online. It has happened now on Fallout 76.
We are still in the same place from the last time me, you, and Chris played. Me and Chris have not progressed it further because you haven't been with us.
Yes, you have.
No, we haven't.
Yes, you have.
I could look up the episodes right now because I haven't even edited them because we haven't recorded an episode in almost a year, if maybe more.
Anyway, when I tried to play Sea of Thieves, The exact response I got from one particular friend was, "This is just too slow and kind of boring, and I can't really get into it." And you folks know who that friend was? Look at me in the eyes. Do you want to know who told me that about Sea of Thieves? That's right, Ryunn Eldred.
Listen, I am willing to go back into it. We could even make it a you theme thing, so the only time we jump into it is when you're ready. I would be willing to give it another shot through.
But I'm so busy.
Why the fuck are you complaining? You know, the reason
I
why,
wasn't busy before, but I'm busy now.
well, I mean, also too, when we'd get together to play stuff, not that it's 100% your fault because you do have a life, unlike the most of us, but it's like when we'd get on to play, you'd be busy. Fallout, I will admit, hands in the air, you did get left behind in that. That is my fault. On my personal channel playthrough, with me and Chris, I think you gave us permission to go one mission ahead because you haven't, or you were already past that point. So we're catching up
You
to where
guys had
you're at.
started over, and you needed to catch up to me. Yes.
Yes. But outside of that, me and Chris have been purposely waiting for a time when you'd get together, but you had your leave and separation, and we haven't brought you back for any Let's Plays.
You know, nobody actually reaches out to me.
I reach out to you.
I message you. You never message me first.
We're both busy, and I'm sleeping half the time.
Anyway. Also Thief in VR, but I'm not sure how I feel about that.
I don't know how I feel about that either because I liked Thief as a game until I got to the insane asylum, and then I just shit myself. So
So, enough
not like
about.
shit myself now, but playing Thief, I shit myself. Not like literally shit myself, but it scared me,
Okay.
and I
Okay.
never went
I
back.
got you.
I should clarify.
Moving on from the state of play.
Oh, but
Uh
there's Pragmata and then 007 First Light.
okay, talk about them then.
Okay, I'll hit them really quick. Pragmata, very happy to finally see something coming back to it, being the fact that it was announced a very long time ago, but we had nothing about it. So I'm happy to see it's still in the works because it looks amazing. 007 First Light, really excited to see it hitting the ground because the last I heard about it, IOI was working on it. So it's good to see that it's actually coming. And it was really cool. I did do the 007 mission that is in Hitman World of Assassination. It was very fun killing Mads Mikkelsen again.
Mm-hmm.
Um Mortal Kombat Legacy looks really good. It's going to be fun playing all the old school Mortal Kombat games and then all the other ones they'll add in through there. Hoping they'll go all the way up to 9 since you can't get 9 digitally. And it's expensive as fuck to find a copy of it physically for the backwards compatibility. What was the other thing? What was the other thing? I don't care about Final Fantasy. Sue me. Romeo is a Dead Man looked really good. The art style for it was really cool. And that is everything for the PlayStation State of Play that I feel like touching base on.
Okay.
So, that Xbox showcase. I was
You're
personally,
skipping a showcase.
I don't know what showcase was in between.
The Summer Game Fest, the actual like the name brand one. Xbox's showcase was yesterday, being Saturday, since today's technically Monday now. Uh, Summer Game Fest, where they announced a lot.
The only thing that I know of that they announced that is on the top of my mind right now is Resident Evil 9 Requiem.
So yeah, they announced Resident Evil 9 Requiem. We got to see more about the Yakuza developers' project Stranger Than Heaven, which
Didn't even hear about that.
so we had saw a preview of it before where it was showing like this old street, and now it kind of looks like it's set for, I don't know. It it's a interesting period piece for sure. Um, Into the Unwell was announced or showed. That was interesting looking. It's kind of like a cartoony Cuphead kind of style.
Isn't that the detective one?
No, that you're thinking of Mouse PI.
That one looked interesting.
Um, Now here's one that, but it shocked Katie and me. Lego Party.
I saw nothing about that.
So Lego Party is a spin-off, not spin-off, but it's a Lego take on Mario Party.
What?
So instead of going for the stars, you're going for the golden bricks.
What? I am very
Uh,
highly intrigued about that.
I recommend you look it up. Very
I
interesting.
will at the end of the podcast because
Then of course IO Interactive came on and they talked about 007 some more. Then they talked about, hey, we're bringing in this elusive target. Um,
La Cheffiere, or yeah, La Cheffiere,
yeah.
the
Uh,
banker.
and then we also got to see a new Scott Pilgrim game that's coming out later this year or next year. Then we
Mind's
got
Eye. I will say Mind's Eye was also announced by
uh,
IOI.
yes, I'm on the fence about Mind's Eye. I'm not sure how I want to feel about it.
I like the idea of futuristic AI like city taking over like Detroit Become Human, which was the thematic vibe I got from it. But the fact that Agent 47 shows up at the end of the trailer has me extremely
Well,
curious.
they were saying that was like a crossover thing, so it's not like he's not in the story normally, but I think he's brought in for something. I'm not sure if it's an open world or not, is the thing.
That's what I'm also curious on because it looked like it could be open world, but it also looked like it was linear story driven, kind of how 007 will be.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's going to be free for one for us, I believe. I believe it's a Game Pass game. No? I thought I saw it as a Game Pass game. Um, Either which way, I'll be interested in it because I want to support IOI. I love the Hitman games, and I feel like if they have a game that flops, so many good companies have been shut down from like minor flops or, like Tango Gameworks where their game doesn't flop at all and it wins a bunch of awards, but they still shut it down anyways.
Yes. So, uh, what I can briefly see is that Mind's Eye is not open world, but they have stated it will eventually have a full open world. So
So semi-open world.
it's a linear third person action adventure game, but then they have stated that it will eventually have a full open world. So that's a very interesting. It'll include multiplayer support. So we will see. Ugh, sorry. What was I about to say? Oh, I'm also there's a lot of other games that were announced that I'm not touching base on. I'm just rolling through this list and seeing the ones that
Getting
as
through
it
the
pops
ones
up that
quickly.
seeing the ones that caught my eye. Now, next one, we've known this game has been coming out, but they kind of came up with a surprise. So, it's Dying Light the Beast.
Yeah,
And
fuck you on your surprise,
the surprise on this
motherfucker.
one is I received an email from Techland about the fact that I had actually had the premium edition or collect, yeah, premium edition of Dying Light 2. And it came with a season pass when I had ordered it, but they were not delivering the second DLC. And because of that, I they gave me Dying Light the Beast for free. So when I went on to Xbox after the showcase, I was going through the pre-orders, and there was Dying Light the Beast, and it already said owned. I was like, that was very nice of them.
Speaking of Dying Light, I am almost done with the game. I've been trying
Nice.
to play it through with John because back when we all three had it, we were blocked off from the generation gap because XS couldn't play with the previous gen.
Hmm.
So we couldn't play it with you.
Right.
Oh, I was like, what the hell do you
It's
have in
it's
your hand?
it's the rest and just playing with it. Sorry.
So like John literally quit playing with me near the end of the game. And it's been so immensely frustrating. And it's like every time I'm like, dude, I'm just gonna continue the game without you. No man, just give me a couple days, I'll be there. And I fall for it every time.
Play the game.
I should. Um, I will dive into Resident Evil 9 Requiem because I am super excited about that. And I guess, yeah, that was announced outside of PlayStation and Xbox's showcase. That was in the state or Summer Game Fest announcements, which I'm excited for because it's another mainline entry. It's not a remake. Even though I
Correct.
would have equally loved seeing like Resident Evil 1 or Code Veronica be remade. I think Resident Evil 9 is going to be really cool. We're going back to Raccoon City like 20 something years after the events of 2 and 3. They are making a game that was previously deemed uncanon canon by bringing in Alyssa Ashcroft, who was a character
So
from the
I
Outbreak
will I will
Files.
argue it doesn't mean that the game is not, or the game is being canonized. Unless
True.
they've specifically stated that the game is canon.
So
It
their
could
deep
it could have been
dives,
like part of the game is canon, but not like the whole full game.
okay, so the
Or the fact that
character,
like the it looks like the hotel we're going at was where her mom died. I don't know if that's in Resident Evil. Don't Oh God, I know I saw the title.
I
Anyway,
literally did just say it too.
did you? I'm sorry, I
Yeah,
wasn't.
so the Outbreak Files 1 and 2, um, it was a multiplayer Resident Evil game back on PlayStation 2, and one of the characters was Alyssa Ashcroft. And from what I can tell from everything I've looked up, is at least her story arc is canon. She was an Easter egg in Resident Evil or not Village, Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, because one of the things you could look at in the Baker house was a article that she wrote about Raccoon City and about her escaping. In the game, she was killed 8 years ago from where the game takes place. So
Mhm.
her mom was going back to Raccoon City to investigate something, was killed at the motel. So now, as her daughter, you are going back to investigate the missing bodies or mutilated body appearances
Oh,
that are
there
being found there.
it wasn't the Outbreak Files. There was another game that had popped up um that people were saying is what it's coming from. God, what was it?
But
Anyway, go ahead and keep talking. I'm gonna look this up.
they stated that Leon is coming back for this game as one of the main protagonists, and it's gonna look like it's gonna be the part where she's like chained upside down and locked up and captured. It's probably going to involve Leon going back to Raccoon City, which is going to be great for character development, as he'll probably deal with his PTSD from being in Raccoon City. So I wonder if we'll get like Resident Evil 2 flashbacks to when he's walking through certain areas of the game. The game has been rumored to be open world or semi open world, as it will be in the city and have an island and forest area, which it looks like you'll be going from Raccoon City, the Arclay Mountain, Arclay Forest area from the original game, and then whatever island will probably be the end game because most Resident Evils end on an island.
Hmm.
But another theory or suggestion is the cloaked figure could be the original Wesker because it is heavily rumored and implied that Wesker himself was a clone. Since the game is no stranger to dealing with clones before. So
Right.
I'm
So
intrigued.
so what I had saw, it was just Resident Evil Outbreak. It was not Outbreak Files, so that's what was throwing me off.
So speaking of Outbreak, there has been a general theme with the latest entries to Resident Evil. We had Resident Evil 2 and 3 release with the multiplayer not Reverse, but the one that came before Reverse.
Resistance? Hang on.
Yeah, Resistance.
I literally just had all the games in order. Give me a second. Keep talking, but
So 2,
whatever.
3 came with Resistance. Reverse came after that. So a lot of people are theorizing to match up with the protagonist of 9. It would make a lot of sense that the next multiplayer Resident Evil game would be a remake of the Outbreak files. Because you could utilize the map of Raccoon City from 2 and 3 and also parts of 9 to recreate the
So
Outbreak file.
it was Resident Evil Resistance first, and then 2 years later we got Resident Evil Reverse.
So it'd be really cool if what we got with this game was the Outbreak files. Because then, one, it would canonize Alyssa Ashcroft's story, add in more lore to the Raccoon City incident, and it'd be a fun little multiplayer game. And for people who are veteran fans of the series, to get a game that's been very glossed over and both hated and loved by the community, it'd be nice. But
I
I'm
have nothing to
excited.
speak. I've never played him, so
Yeah,
I have nothing to add on that.
I used to own Outbreak File 1 when I went into the foster care system, and then one of my foster sisters stole the game from me. And she put in a fake, or not a fake disc, but she put in a DVD because I used to have it in a box set that came with Resident Evil Dead Aim, Resident Evil 4, and Resident Evil Outbreak. So I do still have Dead Aim. I still do have 4 on the PlayStation 2. It's just I no longer have the Outbreak file. Which
So
sucks because it's
there's
another one
Resident
of
Evil
these.
Outbreak and then Resident Evil Outbreak Files #2.
Yes. I just call it File 1 and 2. But I'm excited to see where Capcom will go with Resident Evil. It has a February release date, so we got a whole year of just
Just before
speculating.
the 30th anniversary.
I wonder if before the 30th anniversary they'll release the new movie trailer because the movie studio that owns the rights to Resident Evil is contracted to be putting out another movie within the next few years.
Maybe.
So that'll be cool.
There was one other game that was announced. Or there's two other games that were announced during the showcase that I want to quickly touch base on. First one is Jurassic Evolution 3, or Jurassic World Evolution 3. I'm a fan of the series. I've enjoyed every single one. So that looks like it'll be interesting. And then lastly is Fractured Blooms. You never watched the showcase, even though you told me you did.
I caught
But
bits and pieces.
so Fractured Blooms is a psychological horror with anime girls, and it was described by Jeff as um Doki Doki Literature Club meets, oh god, what was the other game he said? There was two games that he said it's like the two meet. Doki Doki and something else.
So is it
Oh, meets Silent Hill. That's what it was. The quote was literally underneath it.
I think I have heard of this game because it's starting to ring a little bit of a
A
bell.
farming simulator is hiding a dark secret beneath the surface, and players will have to unravel it while tending to their homestead.
I'm intrigued already.
Then there was also the DLC. They talked about Mafia, but nobody cares about that.
I like the Mafia games. I'm intrigued in the old country, but it was announced a long time ago, so I'm not really focused on it.
Oh, this is definitely not in order, so that's why it's throwing me off. Atomic Heart 2.
Oh yeah, and you know what? We talked about this yesterday.
Me and you talked about it on the phone, but that's probably why it wasn't fresh in my mind. Atomic Heart 2, which is a spiritual successor to the first Atomic Heart, and then also the MMO shooter, The Cube,
Which is also attached to
which is set in that universe.
intriguing. I need to either A, go jump back into and play more Atomic Heart because I did enjoy the game, but I'm still so early in the game that I don't know anything about the game.
It's okay, I don't either. Katy keeps giving me shit for it. She's like, "You rage quitted." I'm like, "I did not rage quit." She goes, "Nope, you rage quitted."
At what point did you rage quit?
I made it out of the bunker, so I made it past farther than you.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm at the giant circular ball of death that chases you around.
Yeah,
And
that.
that's where I didn't rage quit, but I just didn't pick it up afterwards because I got tied into other games and then just
Yeah,
not having space on my hard drive and needing to keep uninstall, reinstalling this, uninstall, reinstalling that. The game
yeah.
just got
No, I feel
shuffled.
that. Any other games that were talked about during the showcase that you're aware of that you want to touch base on before we move along on?
No, we could go ahead and move along into the final aspect of it all. So that way we could not wrap it up because some of these games I do want to take a minute to talk about, but just get to the act three of
Sure.
our episode.
Before we start talking about Xbox, I want to say I am not excited and I do not want to talk about Gears of War. I'm just shutting it down now. Gears of War
Fine.
is a horrible series. It is not fun to play, and anybody who likes it sucks as a person. For those of you listening, Ryunn Eldred is a massive fan of Gears of War, and I know he's super excited about talking about Gears of War Remastered, and I'm just screwing with him.
Listen here,
I
you.
do. Wow. Okay. There we go. We just took our ratings from like great to bad. Way to go.
I will bleep myself out at this part because I've been doing very good not cussing. But flark you, man.
No. Xbox
I
Showcase. Go for it.
I will start with Gears, just so that way I could gloss over it real quick. Super excited for the aspect of crossplay.
Nobody cares.
A lot of people care.
Okay. I'll
Me,
stop. I'll stop.
Brian,
I'll
me,
stop.
Brian, and Chris are excited to be jumping into the beta that opens up this upcoming Friday. For people who own Gears of War Ultimate Edition, you will get the Reloaded Edition free. If you have Game Pass, you get the Reloaded Edition free. I'm excited to do multiplayer against PlayStation and PC players. That's all I have to say because it is technically just another remastered, but it's crossplay now, so yay! Your turn.
Oh, no, no. Please continue.
All right, jumping into the next thing, I will talk about Outer Worlds 2. Super excited for that because the first Outer Worlds is great. I have started that game over more than Skyrim at this point, but I have been doing a non-stream, non-recording playthrough, and I have just it's been one of my guilty pleasure games, so I'm excited to play too because the story synopsis that we got shown at the showcase looks very funny and good.
So I did not watch the in-depth one.
I didn't
Um,
watch the in depth. I just watched the trailer.
but I am also excited for it in just aspects of it. I know it's a good game, and I'm excited to play it.
I love
I
Obsidian Entertainment, so
I will say and this is jumping early in the conversation. I am disappointed that the rumors about Fallout 3's remaster and Fallout New Vegas's remaster did not come true.
Yeah, I was gonna say those being shown at the showcase and anything on because I just remember
Elder
State of
Scrolls
Decay
6,
3. State of Decay 3 had nothing that got shown either.
nothing got talked about there, and then Elder Scrolls 6 also did not get talked about. But anyway, we'll continue on
Anywho,
with what did get talked about. Uh Honestly, so looking over the list, because I when I had woke up, I was trolling on my phone and saw a post from Atlas West, which revealed this particular spoiler to me that Persona 4 is getting a remaster,
and
and
it
it looks
looks fucking
fantastic.
flipping good.
I showed kind of a side by side to Katy. She's like, "Oh, wow, that's a massive improvement." I'm like, "It is." Like it was a
Well, it's
good
the
game
same thing
before.
with Persona 3 Reloaded. Like the
Persona
difference
3 was
between the
awesome.
two is phenomenal. So I'm glad it went 5-3-4, which I guess are the bigger games in the series because I do own Persona 1
I
and
think
that's just
Persona 1 and Persona 2 would have been a little bit harder to remaster or remake.
yeah, just because they are from the PlayStation 1 era.
But also 3, 4, and 5 are literally in their own bundle already. So it's like, hey, these are already like the known titles. Let's just focus on these. And then I imagine after this, because we already know that they're working on 6, I think they're just gonna move to 6 from there.
Hopefully.
Um, so I had woke up and saw the thinking about it, and I was like, oh, I thought the X case was tomorrow. So, oops. I had at that point the showcase was over, so I looked at the fact that Xbox always has like their they changed their banner to games coming soon and basically what's announced. And there wasn't anything on the list that I really cared.
Yeah, agreed. Like the only things that were showcased at the Xbox showcase outside of like that the Death Stranding showcase at the end of it, Outer Worlds 2, the Gears of War obviously. Clockwork Revolution was probably the underdog title for me. I was going to actually skip its trailer, but I saw the Albion poster,
And you thought it was Fable
Fable.
as well, right?
I thought it was Fable, so I stopped and started watching it. I was like, I thought they weren't announcing anything for Fable because the devs said that it's at least 2 years away because they're like refining everything and making sure that it's going to be a quality game when it comes out. So I was like, holy shit, did they dupe us?
Right.
Clockwork Revolution is going to be that underdog game for me, one that I was sorry, a thing popped up on something else that I'm doing here on the side. It looks like a mixture between Fable and BioShock and We Happy Few.
Kinda, yeah. I'm intrigued for it.
I'm
Uh,
massively intrigued and I can't wait to get my hands on it, but it's not something that I am massively anticipating like Outer Worlds 2, High on Life 2,
so
Silent Hill F.
to continue with what I was saying, I did eventually watch the Xbox showcase, and there was a few titles that did kind of pop out. Clockwork Revolution is one. High on Life 2, that's cool. I didn't know they were going to make a second one. I thought that they had wrapped it up pretty nicely before. You look frozen. You okay?
I'm good.
Okay.
I'm literally just vibing out listening to you.
The fact that they're bringing Final Fantasy 16 and Final Fantasy 7 to Xbox, that's cool. The Sea of Thieves DLC,
That's
nice.
cool.
Again, I don't have many people that actually will play the game with me. Um, Fallout 76, I already knew about the Gone Vision DLC. It's cool that we have a trailer for it. Um, Super Meat Boy 3D. I never really got into Super Meat Boy before. That's cool that I got a 3D version. And then the one that I was not expecting to actually care about as much is There Are No Ghosts at the Grand. You all
I
right?
think I may have skipped. Yeah, I was just checking on my AC unit. It like kicked down, so I was just making sure.
So you might have skipped it, as
I
which
think
is
I
fine.
did. I think I did skip it, but that's also because it was like I had something else to do, and I was like trying to skim through them and see what looked good. The horror game with cats looked appealing.
The horror game with cats?
Yeah, I can't remember what it's called, but it's like where people turn into the cats.
I'm not sure. There we go. Welcome back. Hey, I lost you there for a second.
Oh, the horror game where people
Oh,
turn into
that
cats.
is welcome back.
Am I continuously lagging out?
You had lagged out there for a hot minute, and then I thought you had figured out what game it was. Is it Beast of Reincarnation?
Maybe. I haven't looked and I haven't been looking, so you could keep talking while I look.
No,
Just
no, I don't think it's that one. Uh, was that no? Anyway, uh, There Are No Ghosts of the Grand. That one caught me by surprise. I actually ended up stopping and showing that one to Katy. Which at first she was like, "Oh, that's all right." She's like, "I think I might enjoy watching you play that," but she's like, "I don't think I could do that." And then as soon as she saw the cat talking, she was like, "Okay, maybe I want to try that game now." What's up?
completely forgot one that was showcased at the awards show today, but I saw a trailer for it like before the show. Is Blood of the Dawnwalker.
Oh, yeah, it looked interesting. It's not one that I was going to touch base on. I mean, you can.
It's a game that both me and Retro are extremely excited for. To the point where like I think in a drinking corner episode, one of the like the last few drinking corners, we actually sat and talked about it for like 15-20 minutes. But yeah, I think it's called Beasts of Reincarnation, the one with the cats. I'm not 100% sure, but looking at the list of games, I'm remembering Resonance, which is like the third chapter in a Plague Tale like series.
Right.
Looks really good. And Indiana Jones is getting its first DLC, The Order of Giants.
Yes, Beast and Reincarnation is not the name of the game.
Ah. Well, I can't remember, and I'm not gonna dive too much into it.
It might be the mundane one. I don't know.
Oh,
So
that and Chronos looks like a good horror game.
yeah, let's talk about a franchise that is being remade that I never really got into. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater.
See, I grew up with Tony Hawk, so you obviously know I'm excited for it.
So the only Tony Hawk's game I have played before the remake of Pro Skater 1 and 2 was American Wasteland.
So, growing up, I played Pro Skater 2 and 3 the most, but I wasn't a fan of the Pro Skaters because I didn't like the fact that they didn't have the open world aspect. So Tony Hawk's Underground 1 and 2 will forever be my favorite Tony Hawk games, but I think I really, really jumped into them at American Wasteland.
I will say I probably will end up picking it up because of the
It's
Doom
free with,
Slayer.
I was gonna say it's free with Game Pass too.
Sure.
I
But
wish
I
the
still might
first
end up
game,
picking it up.
I wish the first
I
duo
I didn't
game
mean I was
was
gonna
free.
buy it. I just meant that I was gonna pick it up, like actually play the game.
Yeah.
Let's see. Was there any others that I skipped over? Not really.
Invincible versus, but I think that's just a me thing I'm excited for because I
Never
love
really,
the comic
never,
show Invincible.
never really cared about it. I will say Animo looked really cute, which I swear that they kept saying a Power World in it. So I was like, is this just like a new trailer for Power World? And it's apparently a new game called Animo. Oh, I'm sorry. We are skipping over. I am skipping over one more.
Black Ops.
Black Ops, which again I knew was already announced because I had already saw the showcase thing. Watching the trailer was
The
like,
trailer
oh,
was really cool.
so it started off and immediately I'm like, that looks like Ethan from it's of Infinite Warfare. And then as they're going and we finally see the character we're standing in as, I'm like, damn, that looks just like David Mason.
Which, another really fun fact, you want to know what other game we just saw that guy from? Death Stranding 2.
Oh, is it the same guy?
That's
Luca.
Neil.
That's cool. Good for him.
I know, I was sitting there watching the trailer and I saw the robot and then I saw the character. I was like, Neil? I was like, is this a Death Stranding 2 trailer?
Yeah, Death Stranding 2 isn't coming out for Xbox yet.
Yeah, it should eventually cross over just like the first game did, but
All right. Anything else you really want to touch base on the
not
Xbox showcase?
not really. I
Okay.
I think we are good.
There's one more thing. It's a big one. It's one that I'm not going to deal with. Xbox is finally going to have a handheld version of the console.
Oh yeah, I did see that the
Xbox
ROG.
Ally. Xbox Ally is what it's called. But it's ROG, yeah. Republic
I
of Gamer.
I don't think I'll get it.
I don't need a portable version of my Xbox. Thank you very much.
Same. I have a Switch for that.
Yes, not a Switch 2 though.
No.
No.
Probably won't have the Switch 2 for as long as it took me to get the Switch 1.
Funny story. Apparently, Nintendo sent out a bunch of signs to retail stores to say that they were out of the Switch 2s. Uh, a lot of people are saying they're probably never going to need to use those signs though. People are not scrambling to buy the Switch 2.
As of right now, I don't see a big important need on getting one until they release something that actually has the only game that's been announced for the Switch 2 that actually has me peaked would be the From Software game.
I mean,
That looks it
the
looks
only one
like
that they,
Bloodborne, but it's not Bloodborne.
uh,
Something else.
the only one that they've announced that we can't get on any other console is the Mario Kart.
Well, From Software is working with Nintendo to make a Nintendo exclusive game. So it's a Dark Souls game, but for Switch.
We'll see.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds like you had something you wanted to discuss though.
I am personally good right now because I am like,
Go. Let's
but
wrap this up then.
yeah, I was like, by the time we got to the state of play, I don't know if you saw me just shifting uncomfortably in my seat, but my room got like really fucking hot for like no reason. My AC.
You're delaying it, Tim. Let's go.
Well, everybody, that was the Summer Game Fest. Let us know what you guys are excited for. You could drop it in any place that you could comment to whatever you're listening and or watching this on. I look forward to getting back with you, David. Not this week, but we should plan something next week. Um, Maybe we could do some like police simulator with it or something as per your suggestion, because I do want to
I
incorporate more of your ideas.
I will let you know. I'm gone Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Okay, so we do have time to do an episode for next week then, or
And
for the week after next.
yeah, as
This
far
is
as I
gonna
know,
come out tomorrow.
yeah, as far as I know, I don't have any other plans for that little bit of week, but we'll see.
All right. Well, we'll play it by ear. Thank you guys so much for listening on any of your podcast listening services. Thank you for watching on the Ryunn Eldred YouTube channel. Big thank you for David for making the time to come into this. I know you were probably closing out for the night when I messaged you, just because I thought I was gonna have to get Chris and left for it, and then he messaged me. Be like, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, brother, I didn't need a ride, so.
Oops. Yeah, I was wrapping up for the night. I was about to pass out on the couch.
So sorry for stopping you with that, but again, big thank you for this. I'll talk about some things later on. Thank you guys for listening. Toodaloo, everybody.
Bye, everybody.